courage and support in order to overcome the biggest fears of your life, as well as pointing out the need of the hour, that is to raise your voice against domestic violence, is what our PR campaign 2ACT005 Choose Conversation is all about. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். A very warm good morning to one and all gathered here. This is second MA Communication of Madras Christian College hosting 2ACT005 Choose Conversation. A hearty welcome to all who have gathered here. With no minute to spare, let's begin. How can we start without having a prayer song? So I call upon Mr. Jared Jason for the prayer song. Invoking Almighty with Bible verses would be cleansing every mind. So let's also have a prayer to the God. I ask Ms. Sona Manoj to purify this whole campaign by leading us all to heaven. Welcome, dear.
Thank you, Elsa. Guys, let's start our campaign with the word of God followed by a prayer. So the Bible verse is from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Prayer. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day that you have given us, Lord. Help us to keep our gaze upon you, handling your problems and worries, trusting in our relationship with you, and relying upon your loving promises. Give us the courage to move forward with determination and help us to follow the challenges in the coming days, Lord. Help us to excel in everything we do. Bless each and everyone present here and help our plans to succeed, Lord Jesus. In Jesus' matchless name we pray. Amen.
So first of all, it's important to welcome all those who have joined the campaign by our invitation. I invite our cheerful classmate, Ms. Jessica Gracia Sam, for the welcome address. I'm sure with her vibrant welcoming, you all would be quite ready for the campaign. Over to you, Jessica.
A very good morning to one and all. I extend my warmest welcome to you all on this wonderful morning. I extend my hearty welcome to the faculty and students of the Department of Visual Communication, DG VAISHNAV College. Thank you for joining us. Your presence today has immensely enhanced our enthusiasm and our excitement for our campaign 2ACT005. It gives me great pleasure in welcoming Professor Mary T. Abraham of the Department of Social Work, Stella Maris College, as a keynote speaker for the day. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. I would like to welcome Dr. Vasuprada Sri Krishna, HOD in charge, our staff in charge of the Public Relations Campaign, Professor Deborah Raj, and our faculty, Dr. S. Janet Mary and Professor Dinesh Kumar T. of the Department of Communication, Madras Christian College. I finally welcome my dear batchmates, the students of First MA Communication, and our lovely audience who are watching us live on YouTube. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you have an enlightening session ahead.
Thank you so much, Jessica. So yes, let's begin our campaign. But is our campaign just bombarding you with information? Not at all. It's an infotainment, that is information plus entertainment. So be prepared for that fun learning process ahead. As a kickstart to the whole session of ours, let's have a game session. Don't you guys need a power-packed, fun-filled game session, guys? No responses, guys. Haven't you had breakfast today? Don't you need a game session? I need some answers. Yes. Okay. So, yes, that's the energy we need. So, I welcome the most energetic host, Miss Gayatri Nandakumar, for conducting the game session. Stay tuned to it, guys. Over to you, Gayatri.
Okay, Elsa, am I audible?
Yes, completely.
Okay. Okay, so good morning to all of you. So I'm Gayatri here. So today I will be leading the infotainment show for all of you. And I have a couple of questions for you and you will have to give me the answer. And as a reward for that, you will get some interesting information as well. So I welcome DG VAISHNAV College to my interesting infotainment show here. And what I need is participation from all of you. And you will have 10 seconds to say the answer. And after seeing the question, if anybody knows the right answer, you can click the raise hand option and then unmute, tell your name and tell the answer, or the answers in chat box are also welcome. Then, if it's right, you get a fact reward card and we will go on to that after you tell the answer. So, Trinisha will be coordinating with me with this and I welcome Trinisha too. So, quickly, let's move on to the first question. And it's very interesting, I tell you, because it's all about movies. Popcorn story starts here. So I know everybody might be knowing this movie, right? So let's move on to the question. Talaivi is a biopic film of which politician? Option A, Indira Gandhi, B, Jayalalitha, and C, Shashikala. Is anybody answering?
Tilak has already raised his hand.
Okay. So Trinisha, tell me who raised a hand or who is ready to answer, unmute and answer. Is there anybody?
You can unmute. Unmute.
Okay. Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Tilak.
Okay, Tilak. Let's see if that's the right answer or not. Okay. So let's see if Jayalalitha is the right answer. Yay! It's the right answer, Tilak. Thank you for answering. And wait a minute. There is something waiting for you. You want a stat reward. Okay, let's see what's a stat reward. Okay. So we want to make you know why we are conducting this campaign. Okay, the reason for our campaign, and we will be telling you that with lot of facts and other statistic information regarding domestic violence. So anything, knowledge is power, as you know. So anything which you take away from our campaign is really beneficial, and we want to give it you as a reward, a piece of information which you can enlighten your mind with. So Trinisha, can you please coordinate that?
Yeah. So answer correct பண்றவங்க எல்லாருக்குமே ஒரு ஸ்டாட் கார்டு கிடைக்கும். இந்த ஸ்டாட் கார்டு domestic violence பத்தின statistics வச்சிருக்கோம். So basically knowledge is power. அதுதான் இதோட மெயின் பாயிண்ட். ஸோ ஆன்சர் பண்ற எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு ஸ்டாட் கார்டு இல்லை ஃபேக்ட் கார்டு ஏதாவது உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கும். ஸோ எனர்ஜெட்டிக்கா எல்லாரும் ஆன்சர் பண்ணுங்க. சாட் பாக்ஸ் கூட எல்லாரும் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. ஸோ டெஃபினட்டா சாட் பாக்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. ஆனா அன்மியூட் பண்ணியும் யூ கேன் ஆன்சர்.
Okay, so let's see what Tilak has for the start reward. 30% of women whose husbands do not drink have experienced spousal violence as well. And it's from the Mother and Child Health and Education Trust. So just imagine, because of Tilak, we got this information, right? The statistic information, 30% of women. That's really very shocking, as you know. So our campaign is to spread an awareness to end all these kind of violences and all these kind of things like here. Okay, so let's quickly move on to the next question. I'm sure this is very familiar to you. And moving on to the question. The above shown picture is from which Tamil movie? Option A, Ponmagal Vandal, B, Jai Bhim, C, Pasanga 2. Your time starts now. Yep.
B, Jai Bhim, ma'am.
Okay, who answered that?
Arjun, ma'am.
Arjun.
Okay, Arjun. Let's see if Jai Bhim is the right answer. I don't know. We don't know if it's the right answer or not. Let's see. Wow! There need not be any confusion. It's the right answer. And it's Surya's one of the most exceptional movie that we have seen, right? Okay, so Arjun, let's see what is your gift is a stat reward again. So let's see what is your stat reward. What are we going to learn because of Arjun? There was a 50% decrease in calls in a geographical area in cases where the victim is in close proximity with the perpetrator. Yeah. So there was 50% decrease in those areas who were close with those such people who does this domestic violence. So that's really a shocking statistics to know. And it's from an NGO. The source is from an NGO. So because of Arjun, we came to know about this, right? Yes. So let's move on to the next question. Thank you, Arjun, for answering. So this is again a very familiar movie. Irudhi Sutra is a movie based on which sport? Your time starts now. Option A, cricket. Option B, basketball. And option C, boxing.
Boxing.
Okay, again, somebody is answering. Who all answered? Who said boxing?
Chat box answers irukku, Gayatri. So Sindran has answered boxing.
Okay, so anybody ready to unmute and tell?
I guess it's Ritik, Gayatri. He has put his name in the chat box.
Okay, Ritik. Okay.
Give your name. உங்க பேரை சொல்லிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் ஆன்சர் பண்ணுங்க. So that எங்களுக்கு கூப்பிடுறதுக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்கும். So name சொல்லிட்டு answer.
Okay, don't worry. For those who cannot unmute and answer, don't worry. For right now, I'm taking Ritik's name. So Ritik has answered boxing. So let's see if it's the right answer. It's the right answer. Very good, Ritik. Yes, it's boxing. So you win a stat reward. So because of Ritik, let's see what information are we learning. I'm sure this pic is really hilarious because this is from the movie Arjun Reddy, and the stat, see the stat. More than 54% of women and 51% of men agree that it is justifiable for a husband to beat his wife. You know, this entire movie is showing such kind of, that's why I put this image here. So this is from the Mother and Child Health and Education Trust. Okay, just imagine this much percentage of people are agreeing that it's justifiable. So you can imagine the situation of domestic violence happening happening in our place and during the lockdown time, how much it has increased. So thank you, Ritik. Thanks for this information. So let's move on to the next question. Again, this is another very interesting movie. In the movie Aruvi, which female actress did the lead role? The options are Aditi Balan, Nayanthara, Ritika Singh. Your time starts now. Anybody with the answer?
Chat box answer பண்ணலாம்.
Okay.
Somebody Aditya Mehta.
Someone said Aditi Balan, Gayatri.
Okay, who was that?
Shashidharan.
Shashidharan. Okay, let's see if Shashidharan's answer is correct. It's correct again. Yes, it's Aditi Balan. Aditi has rendered a wonderful performance in Aruvi, and it's a movie that we won't forget. So, again, what Shashidharan will get is a stat reward, and let's see what's that information. 1/3 of women aged 15 to 49 years have been subjected to some form of physical violence by their partner. So imagine just aged between 15 to 49, 1/3 of women in that. So it's really shocking statistics, and because of Shashidharan, we have came to know about the statistics, and hope you keep in mind and work against this type of domestic violence. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, Vakil Saab is a remake of Pink in which language? Okay, the options are Kannada, Tamil, and Telugu. Time starts now. Quick. Any answers?
Chat box Nitin has told the answer, Gayatri. Nitin has answered Telugu.
Okay, let's see if Nitin's answer is correct. Yes, it's correct answer. It's Telugu. So Nitin is getting a fact reward. So let's see what is a fact reward. Women of ages 20 to 24 are at the greatest risk of becoming victims of domestic violence. Hey, that's people aged, like we are the people aged between 20 to 24, right? So I think we must also make sure to help others of our age because they are at the greatest risk of becoming victims of domestic violence. So it's really shocking. So I think because of Nitin, we came to know about this. So thank you. And we move on to the next question. And I think this is the final question for the session. Let's see. Mupathiyaru Vayadinile is a remake of which Malayalam movie? The options are Premam, How Old Are You, and Bangalore Days. The time starts now. Quick. Any answers?
Nitin, Tarun, Ranjit all have put in chat box. How old are you?
Okay.
But Nitin was the first one to answer.
Okay, again, Nitin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nitin.
Okay.
ரெண்டு வாட்டி கண்டினியூஸா
Okay, so thank you, Nitin, and also thanks others, Tarun and everybody for answering. So let's see if it's a right answer or not. It is the right answer. So you win a start reward. Let's see. Tamil Nadu police reported approximately 25 calls every day during the lockdown period and registered at least 40 such cases of domestic violence. So imagine 25 calls every day. Imagine that intensity of that situation. So you can imagine how serious this topic is. And I think it's time to move on to the next question. And I think we'll wind up with this question. Which actress did the lead role in Piku? Kareena Kapoor, Kangana, and Deepika. Any answers?
Nitin is answer. For the third take.
Okay, is it Nitin again?
ரஞ்சித்யா எல்லாருமே தீபிகான்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அனிஷ், ஆதித்யா மெஹ்தா.
Okay, fine. Let's see. It's Deepika. Thanks to all of you for answering that. Okay. It's really a wonderful movie to watch. And for all of you, I want a fact reward again. Domestic violence is one of the most significant human rights violation in the world. Okay, so it's one of the most significant human rights violation. We all are humans and we all have fundamental rights. Okay, so it's the most significant human rights violation. So thanks all of you for this providing this fact to everyone. And with that, I think we can wind up this small game session. And I thank all of you for being a part of this. And I hope you'll enjoy this campaign. And that's me, Gayatri, signing off. And over to you, Elsa.
Thank you so much, Gayatri. And that was such a vibrant start for our campaign. And also, guys, you are incredible. The way you responded is so good. Keep up the energy till the end. Okay, so what is our campaign? Apart from just a fight against domestic violence, are you interested to know that, people? Yes, so let's get into a very quick introduction to the campaign. We named the campaign 2ACT005 in reference to the act passed in 2005 named Protection of Women from Domestic Violence. What's the tagline? Guys, I need Vaishnav, DG VAISHNAV College to answer me. What's our tagline? We were repeating it all the way around. So what's our tagline? 2ACT005? Doesn't know the tagline of the campaign? Okay, that's fine. From here on, let's keep that in mind. That's choose conversation, okay? Choose conversation. So why did we choose that tagline? It aims to make aware people that raising voice is important. People raising voice is very important. And why this subject at this hour of life? It's lockdown. Knowing the fact that many women were trapped inside their homes during the pandemic, being victims of violence, not knowing how to react, was an eye-opener for all of us. And that's how we, as a group, 2nd MA Communication, reached into this topic. So guys, before we move on, I need you to follow some kutti instructions. First one, all through the campaign, keep your microphones off. Never unmute unless you are asked for. Second, in between the campaign, there would be Google polls provided for you to vote. Kindly vote whenever it pops up. You can vote by clicking on the rightmost corner button on your screen that has a triangle, rectangle, and a circle. That's called the activities button. So there you can vote whenever a poll pops up. And last instruction, in the end of the session, there will be a question and answer feedback session. Try to ask questions and give feedback either by unmuting or putting it in the chat box. So yes, as I have bombarded you with a lot of information, let's have something entertainment now. Let's hear some music. Are you guys ready? Yes? Hello, where is the energy that I saw during the game session? Yes. Okay, yeah. So this is the official music video of our campaign, for which we students have wrote lyrics, composed, sang, and acted. So why waiting? Let's go to the music video. Over to you, production team. Uh-oh, there was some issue out there, but still, we will be back soon. Production team. Yeah, we will have the music video very short. Yeah, okay.
தேவதையே நீ ஏன் தேங்குகிறாய்? வலிகள் தேவையில்லை வாணி வெளியிலே. காரிகையே நீ ஏன் வாடுகிறாய்? காயங்கள் தேவையில்லை வாணி வெளியிலே. உடை தெரியும் வேலியை விதைத்திடும் பாதையை காலையிலே நீ இங்கு மேலோங்கும் அதிகாரத்தை. உடை தெரியும் வேலியை விதைத்திடும் பாதையை காலையிலே நீ இங்கு மேலோங்கும் அதிகாரத்தை. உடையாதே பெண்ணிடமே திருடமே பேச நினைத்தால் மட்டுமே வானம் திறக்குதே. உடையாதே பெண்ணிடமே திருடமே பேச நினைத்தால் மட்டுமே வாழ்க்கை மாறுதே. உடையாதே பெண்ணினமே பிழையேது உன்னிடமே பேச நினைத்தால் மட்டுமே வாழ்க்கை மாறுதே.
Yes, that's our official music video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Yes. So, what we actually think is like, when you move out of this campaign, what all should be there in your mind? When you move out of the campaign, one of the major important thing that you should have in your head is the helpline numbers. That is not only for yourself, but also for giving a helping hand for others too, who are in a distress or who are undergoing violence. So I call upon Ms. Shreya Srikumar for enlightening you on helpline numbers. Welcome, Shreya.
So hi guys, My name is Freya Srikumar, and I'll be doing a quick presentation on how and where one can seek help from domestic abuse. And my good friend Trinisha will be interacting with me in Tamil. The first slide, please. The next slide. So before we move into this topic, let's quickly understand what this law is about. So the domestic violence law was formulated in 2005 and it came into power in 2006. This law protects women and children against physical, sexual, emotional, economic, and verbal abuse. Over to you, Trinisha.
Exactly. So the thing is, அதாவது டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ் அப்படின்றது வந்துட்டு ஒருத்தங்களை அடிக்கிறது அது மட்டும் கிடையாது, பிசிக்கலா ஒருத்தங்களை அபியூஸ் பண்றது மட்டும் கிடையாது, பட் இமோஷனலா அவங்களை கஷ்டப்படுத்துறது, வேர்பலா வார்த்தையால ஒருத்தங்களை கஷ்டப்படுத்துறது, பினான்சியலா காசு விஷயம், இது எல்லாத்துலயுமே வந்துட்டு ஒருத்தங்களை கஷ்டப்படுத்துறது எல்லாமே வந்து டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ்குள்ளதான் வருது அப்படின்றது நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் கண்டிப்பா.
Okay, moving to the next slide. So, the next slide, please. So, if you're a victim of domestic violence, show in the previous slide. Yes, thank you. So, if you're a victim of domestic violence, or if you see somebody who's experiencing domestic violence, these are the helpline numbers that can be called.
ஸோ பேசிக்கா வந்துட்டு டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ் அப்படின்றது நமக்கு நடந்த நம்ம கால் பண்ணி பேசுறது மட்டும் இல்ல, நம்மளை சுத்தி நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்றதுக்கு கூட இந்த நம்பர்ஸ் நமக்கு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். ஸோ 1091 அப்படின்ற நம்பர் வந்துட்டு இந்தியால உள்ள எல்லா பெண்களுக்குமான ஹெல்ப்லைன் நம்பர். 181 அப்படின்றது வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டுல உள்ள டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ்க்கு மட்டும் எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவான ஹெல்ப்லைன் நம்பர். 1098 அப்படின்றது இந்தியாவில் உள்ள அந்த குழந்தைகளுக்கான ஹெல்ப்லைன் நம்பர். ஸோ நம்ம இதெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கிறதுக்கு மூலமா ஜஸ்ட் நம்பர்ஸ் நம்ம ஈஸியா தெரிஞ்சு நம்ம ஞாபகத்துல வச்சுக்கலாம். யாருக்கோ என்னைக்கோ ஒரு நாள் நம்ம ஹெல்ப் பண்ணலாம் இது மூலமா.
Okay, now coming to most important part. So oftentimes a victim of domestic abuse will find it very difficult to talk about what they're suffering, but one can always send signal for help. So if you need help or if you need to indicate that you are a victim of domestic violence, all you need to do is to use this hand signal. So the first thing you need to do is to just open your palm, fold your thumb and just wrap your thumb with the other 4 fingers. This is how you indicate that you need help or that you are a victim of domestic violence.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. அதாவது நிறைய வீடுகள்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஃபேமிலியா இருக்கிறவங்க, ஹஸ்பண்ட் கூட இருக்கவங்க தைரியமா வந்து லைக் எனக்கு வந்து அபியூஸ் நடக்குது அப்படின்றத தைரியமா வெளியே சொல்லிக்கிட மாட்டாங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சிச்சுவேஷன்ஸ்ல ஹேண்ட் சிக்னல்ஸ் ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். இந்த ஹெல்ப் லைன்ஸ், ஹேண்ட் சிக்னல்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் நம்ம தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கிறதுக்கு மூலமா நமக்கு உதவுதோ இல்லையோ மத்தவங்க யாராவது கஷ்டத்துல இருக்கிறப்போ நம்ம அதை தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு இது ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு. சோ ஸ்ரேயா சொன்ன மாதிரி லைக் நம்ம கைய வந்துட்டு ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்டா வச்சுட்டு கட்ட விரல்ல நம்மளோட பாம்குள்ள கொண்டு போயிட்டு இந்த 4 ஃபிங்கர்ஸால கையை மூடுறப்போ இது டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸோட ஹேண்ட் சிக்னல் ஆகுது. சோ இத நம்ம தற்செயலா யார்கிட்டயாவது பார்க்கலாம், யாரோ ஒருத்தங்க ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்துல இருக்காங்க, டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ்க்கு உள்ளாக்கப்படுறாங்க அப்படின்றதெல்லாம் நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு இது உதவும்.
So thank you so much guys for listening.
Thank you so much, Shreya and Trinisha, because it's very important. This is a very key takeaway that we have to give our audience from our campaign. So in the meanwhile, as I have already told you, there are polls going on, Google polls. You should go there and vote. Already there are 4 or 5 questions that have already popped up. Just go and cast your vote and come back. So many
Also,
a time
அது வந்துட்டு எப்படின்னா லைக் அங்க நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரைட்ல கீழே வந்துட்டு அந்த ஸ்குவிட் கேம் சிம்பிள்ஸ் மாதிரி இருக்கும், அதுதான் ஆக்டிவிட்டிஸோட பேனல். சோ அதுல போனீங்கன்னா போல்ஸ்ன்னு இருக்கும், அங்க போய் நீங்க ஓட் பண்ணிக்கலாம் உங்க ஓட் திங்ஸ்.
Yeah, don't be hesitated even if it's a wrong answer. Just go and poll so that from mistakes only we are going to learn, right? As people say, failures are the stepping stones to success. So let's vote and see what we have out there. So many a time we have heard elderly people saying that young people are reluctant to know what's happening in the society. Sometimes I have also felt, yes, we do not actually follow the news or societal situations every time or every day. So we just conducted a vox pop within our campus to know what's these young people's viewpoints on domestic violence and toxic relationships. Let's have a look at that vox pop video. Over to you, production team.
கண்டிப்பா. ஏன்னா ஒரு எப்படி சொல்றது, நாங்க லைக் மென்னா இருந்தாலும் சரி விமனா இருந்தாலும் சரி வீட்டில் இருக்கும்போது சேஃபாக தான் இருப்பாங்க.
எஸ், லைக் இட்ஸ் 50-50. லைக் அவங்க எல்லாருமே லைக் அதர் மென்ஸோட இன்டர்வியூ நான் பார்த்தேன். பட் தே வர் சேயிங் லைக் women are safe in their home, but that's not completely true.
They are not safe actually. There are many incidents going on even here in local places and as well as in overall India. So I think they are not much safe.
I think not, because we can always expect somebody knocking at our door and it could be anyone.
டொமஸ்டிக் வைலன்ஸ் தமிழில் கொஞ்சம் இருக்கும். டொமஸ்டிக் வைலன்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ எல்லா இடத்துலையும் இப்போ இருக்காது. கொரோனா டைமில் அதிகமாக வந்துருக்கு செய்திகள் பார்க்குறோம்.
பெருசாக அந்த அளவுக்கு சொல்லுவேன். அவங்க கல்யாணம் ஆனே கணவர் கட்சியே அவங்க சேஃப்டி இல்லாமல் தான் நிலைமை தான் இருக்குது. ஏன்னா ஒரு சில வீட்டில் ரொம்ப குடிக்கிறவங்க இருப்பாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய ரீசன்னால வீட்டில் சேஃப்டி இல்லாமல் தான் இருக்காங்க.
ஐ மீன் 90% ஓகே, பட் நிறைய அப்யூசஸ் வந்து ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸால கூட நடக்குது. லைக் நிறைய அப்யூஸ் நான் கேள்விப்பட்டுட்டேன். லைக் நமக்கு தெரியாது, உண்மையிலே மனசு விட்டு சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க, எல்லாரும் மனசுக்குள்ளே வச்சுக்குவாங்க. ஏன்னா நான் இது வரைக்கும் என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், என்னோட க்ளோஸ் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கூட நடந்திருக்கு, ஆனால் எனக்கு தெரியாது. டீப்பா அவங்க கிட்ட பேச 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 தான் ஒரு விஷயமா வெளியில வருது. ஆனா அந்த விஷயம் என்ன உங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கும் தெரியாது. ஸோ நிறைய பேர் பார்த்துட்டேன்.
Absolutely not. It's a society. We live together, so it's everyone's responsibility to keep everyone safe. Women can take care of men, men can take care of women. அது வந்து it goes both ways.
Personally சொல்லணும்னா like I wish to like help women like if they're in a danger.
No, it's not just a women's issue. It includes even the men as well as the whole society. No, it's not. Not only women, but everyone.
இல்லை அது தவறானது தான். ஆனால் நான் என்ன வச்சு சொல்லணும்னாலே பல நேரங்களில் அதை கட்டுப்படுத்துறது கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது. ஏன்னா எனக்கு சொசைட்டி இதாக கொடுத்துருக்கு. ஸோ அது வந்து வெளியில் வர்றது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமாக தான் இருக்குது. அதை மாற்ற முயற்சி பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஆனால் அது தவறான விஷயம்.
பெண்ணுன்றது மட்டும் இல்லை, யாரையுமே அடிக்கூடாது கோவத்தில். அது பக்குவம் வர்றது கஷ்டம்தான். பக்குவம் அவ்வளோ சீக்கிரம் வந்துடாது.
கண்டிப்பாக நான் போய் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவேன். இப்போ வந்து ஒரு 3 பேரை வந்து ஒரு மேன் அட்டாக் பண்ணுறாங்கும் போது நான் போய் அவளுக்கு ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணாதான் பார்ப்பேன், தவிர போய் வெளியே வேடிக்கை பார்க்க மாட்டேன்.
என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் I don't think that I am so confident to speak out. That's not my type. But I'll try my best to make her feel comfortable.
I am physically strong and I can manage the situation. So I think I'll handle. But for others, yes.
இல்லை பண்ணி ஆகணும், வேறு வழியில் அந்த சுச்சுவேஷனில் முடியும். இப்போ எப்படி சொல்கிறது, முடிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் அதுக்கு முயற்சி பண்ணுறது தான் இங்கே தேவையாக இருக்குது. அதுவும் பண்ணுறோம். சில இடங்கள்ல முடியலை.
சொசைட்டின்றதை விடடா நான் என்ன யோசிக்கிறேன்னா, வீட்டில் அதான் சொல்கிறேன், வீட்லேயே முதல்ல இப்போ ஏதாவது ஒரு சின்ன விஷயம் நடந்தாலும் தன்னோட அம்மா அப்பா கிட்ட தைரியமாக சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு நிலைமை வந்ததுனாலே சொசைட்டி மாதிரி. சொசைட்டி யார்? நம்ம தானே.
இங்கே சட்டம்ன்றத அதை தாண்டி நம்மளுக்கு கல்ச்சுரலாகவே இப்போ நான் இருக்கேன். எனக்கு இந்த சொசைட்டியே ஒரு ப்ரிவிலேஜை கொடுக்குதுல்ல, அதை குறைக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன வழி பண்ண முடியுமோ அது பண்ணால் மட்டும்தான் இது கொஞ்சம் பெட்டராகும். இப்போ நான் ஒரு 20-25 வயசில் இதை தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னா இதை எனக்கு ஒரு 10 வயசுக்குள்ளே எனக்கு சொல்லி கொடுத்துருங்க.
எஜுகேட்டட் எல்லாரும் வந்து லைக் நாகரிகம் உள்ளவர்கள்னு கிடையாது. எஜுகேட்டடாக இருக்கிறவங்களே தப்பு பண்ணுறவங்க தான் அதிகம். ஸோ அவேர்னஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ணணும். அதாவது சேஃப் ஒரு பொண்ணுக்குள்ளே ஒரு பொண்ணு வந்து ஒரு விஷயத்த சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறாங்கன்னா ஏன்? பொண்ணுக்குள்ளே இப்போ பொண்ணு ஒருத்தர் நம்பிக்க மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க இல்லையா? ஸோ சொன்னா வெளியில சொல்லிடுவாளோ, அது மாதிரி ஒரு நம்பிக்கை முதல்ல வரணும். சொல்றதுக்கு. அப்படிதான் வெளியில கொண்டு வரணும்.
So yes, guys, that was our Vox Pop video. So meanwhile, in the chat box, the answers for the polls have been put up. Just go to it and see whether your answers were right or wrong. But still, whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. From here on, just keep these things in your mind. That's what is important. And in the Vox Pop video, one girl was saying, it was very striking. Society yaru namma thane. That's what you all have to have in your mind, because we always blame society. It's not a society without us. So keep that in mind and move on. Try to be okay and make others also okay, feel okay. Yeah. So now it's the most significant part of the campaign, the session delivered by the keynote speaker. So today we are very much honored to have Dr. Mary T. Abraham, Social Works Department Professor of Stella Maris College, with us as the keynote speaker. Talking about ma'am, she has 21 years of teaching experience. Her areas of specialization include medical and psychiatric social work and education for mentally challenged. I believe she is one of the best speakers we can have today with us, as her areas of interest includes elderly, women, and children. I welcome you, ma'am, for giving us an insightful and informative session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Elsa Paul, for that wonderful words of introduction. And at the outset, I would like to congratulate the Department of Communications, Madras Christian College, for organizing such a wonderful campaign, and DG VAISHNAV College students for being very participative. And I'm sure you've been enjoying this session, and organized by the Department of Communications, MCC, and you've been learning quite a bit. So from a very light note, I think we are moving into a very serious one, and I wonder how many of you will be kind of interested to listen, because it's almost lunchtime as well. Nevertheless, I'll try and keep it as short as possible, so that I wouldn't bore you much. In fact, most of the information they have already shared through the various games and activities that they have been doing so far. I've been in this meet for the last half an hour and more. So I've been listening to it as well. So I think I might be repeating a few points, but it's good in a way, so that, it drives into us, and we'll be hitting against the same information over and over again, which will help us remember when in need. Okay. Do you want me to share the screen, or are you going to do it? Can I share the screen? Can the organizers just let me know if I can present my screen?
No, ma'am, we are presenting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Then. Right. Can we move to the next slide, please? So we've been talking so much about domestic violence, and we've been talking about Domestic Violence Act. Now, when you hear the word domestic violence, we also have to remember that the word domestic means house, isn't it? At home, that kind of an attitude. That's the meaning of the word. So domestic violence is not only specific to women. That's also one thing that we need to keep in mind. It is also violence that happens to anybody in the family. Okay? It's violence that is happening to anybody in the family. It could be children, it could be elderly, older persons who are there in the family, or it could be even men as well. Okay? So it's not just women. Of course, women are affected the most, and that's the reason why we are talking so much about domestic violence, and we are talking about the helpline specifically for women. But at the same time, I was glad that you brought in one of those questions on helplines, and you've also included the helpline for children. which was, what's the helpline for children? I thought they just gave you that information. Can somebody unmute? Yeah, 1098. Anirudh, thank you so much. 1098. It's very easy for you to remember because it's in your arithmetic counting of numerals. You're going backwards from 1098. So it's easy to remember. Okay, so that will be easy for you to remember. Now, and I was happy that you brought it because children are also being abused to a very great extent. So when you're talking about domestic violence, it's kind of otherwise called as even family violence, or it is called as domestic abuse that takes place. And it is basically done between intimate partner violence. It happens within the partners themselves, and sometimes even in heterosexual heterosexual relationship, and even in homosexual relationships as well. Okay, in the same-sex relationships also, you find domestic violence taking place. And when you're talking about domestic violence, it also happens in forced or child marriages as well. Okay, and as you know, probably child marriages, the age of marriage has kind of increased, but still they are children. In the sense, when the social reformist Raja Ram Mohan Roy was talking about, fought for child marriage, and he brought in the act to stop child marriage. At that time, probably the children were much younger in age, in the sense they hadn't probably even attained puberty when they were married. But now you know that they are 16, 17 years old when they are getting married. But still, child marriage does exist. And we don't have to go really very far from the city. We have a notion that it always happens only in the villages and in some remote areas and tribal areas and all that. It happens next door in the city, heart of the city. So it is not something which is not happening here. So child marriage does exist even in the cities as well. And domestic violence are, of course, as we are concentrating now, is overwhelmingly among the women population as such. And because of this, there are a lot of men who are, and you also have men who are victims of domestic violence. Of course, the percentage is much less. In 1993, the UN Declaration on the Elimination of Violence Against Women, they defined domestic violence as physical, sexual, and psychological violence occurring in the family, including battering, sexual abuse, and of female children in the household, dowry-related violence, marital rape, female genital mutilation, and other traditional practices harmful to women, non-spousal violence, and violence related to exploitation. So this was the definition given by the UN Declaration on the Elimination of Violence Against Women in 1993. So in short, we are referring to as domestic violence means in a relationship or marriage, one or both of the partners uses physical, sexual, or psychological violence to try and get power or control over the other, or due to losing their temper. So domestic violence can occur in heterosexual and same-sexual relationship. Okay, can we move to the next slide, please? Now, I'm sure you would have seen the purple ribbon in my first slide where I had given my introduction, my name, and if you can go to that slide, if it is not an issue, can be. Yes, the purple ribbon, if you see. Now, this purple ribbon is used to promote awareness on domestic violence. Okay, just like how you have the red ribbon for. When you see a red ribbon like this, what does it indicate? Anybody knows? Yes? AIDS. HIV AIDS. Okay, so it's with people who are living with HIV/AIDS. So we are trying to protect them and prevent this disease. And this is one of the next events that is coming up. Yes, Pink for breast cancer. Yes, very good. So you have the International Day for HIV/AIDS coming up very shortly. When is that?
December 1st.
Yeah, December 1st. Thank you, Elsa. Right, if we can go back to slide number 3, please, on the purple ribbon. Yes, thank you. So it symbolizes, now when you see this ribbon, it symbolizes the survivors who were hurt by physical and emotional abuse and are still going on and are still thriving and living a life free of violence. So that is the meaning of this purple ribbon. And domestic violence, as you all know, is leading to a lot of injury among women. In fact, they say more than automobile accidents or cancer deaths and muggings, in other words, like robbing or putting a person down in public places. Now, in those cases, they are all much less, they say, compared to domestic violence. I don't know. Of course, I do have a slide on domestic violence during the pandemic, and I'm sure during that time I remember seeing a WhatsApp, what should I say, a small video clipping which was there, which went viral during the pandemic, where a girl had her face covered when she was talking to her father with a nice cartoon picture. She had covered her face, okay, and then later towards the end, it was a video call, and then she was trying to tell her father that I don't want you see my face like this, because today this is how I feel, and things like that. But at the end of the conversation, after her father hangs the phone down, she shows her face, and then you could see how injured her eyes were and her cheeks were, and that was the reason why she had covered, because she didn't want to actually make her father feel really sad about the whole thing. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, domestic violence is one of the highest, and in many cases, especially since it's happening to women, it is not being reported. And I say it that way because being a patriarchal society, women are not heard sometimes. They are not allowed to even voice out what they are going through in the society. And this is one of the reasons why I made that statement, that in many cases, whatever statistics that we see here, you can be 100% sure you can have a 10 to 20% increase in that statistics, because there are so many who are not revealing how they have been abused at home, of course, sexually or psychologically or physically. And some of them still believe, I think one of your, you had a question and answer session with your choices, and you were bringing out a lot of facts, and then there you had mentioned that many of them do not know that they are being physically abused, and it is their, many of the women think that it is their right, that men can, that my husband can beat me, it is his right. Who are you to come and protest? Okay, so that's the awareness level that we have, whether it is the urban area or the rural areas. There's no difference in that at all. So in 1981 October, they brought in this day of unity, and slowly they started to believe in some countries, they observe October as a month of domestic violence awareness month. So the entire month is being dedicated for that. Okay. Now, before we move to the next slide, today is a very special day where the UN is observing a special day. And it was right that the Department of Communication, MCC, chose today to talk about this particular topic. So anybody from DG VAISHNAV, can you answer what is the UN day that we are observing today? What is the UN day that we are observing today? Anybody from DG? I hope MCCians will definitely know, because you are part of this campaign. DG? Anybody, please? Today we are observing a UN Day, just like how we talked about International Day for HIV/AIDS is on the 1st of December. International Day for people with differently abled on disabilities on 3rd of December, which is coming up. What's today? Anybody knows? Okay, over to MCCNs.
Elimination of violence.
Pardon? Yes? Somebody was answering. What is today? Today is the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. You can go to my next slide, please. Yes. Sorry, I don't know the name. 19E2811. Good. Right. So today is International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and it is observed by the UN on the 25th of November. And the theme for this year is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. So that's the theme. As you all know, every year UN comes up with the theme for all the observances, the days that they observe during that year. And this is the theme for the year. And in 2000, February 7th, 2000, the UN General Assembly designated 25th of November as the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. So this campaign led the UN General Secretary and the UN Women, which is again another organization of women since 2008. It is aiming to prevent and eliminate violence against women and girls all over the world. So this is not something which is very specific to the developing country or specific to India. It is happening even in the developed countries, in all developed countries. So domestic violence is not something that is forbidden or it's not there in the developed countries. It's everywhere. Probably the degree of violence may vary or the type of violence may vary, but then it does exist. Yes, my next slide, please. I thought a little bit of statistics. Actually, the organizers have already given you a lot more of statistics, but then I thought a little bit. Of course, I don't believe on these numbers at all because, as I said earlier, this is not the true numbers. If you have to actually do a research and find out in a small area itself, probably near your neighborhood or probably near a slum that is there, which is very close to your college, and if your college has adopted it, maybe if you can visit each home and talk to all of them, I'm sure you will get a percentage much higher than this. Okay, so the crime rates are increasing, and as all of you had rightly mentioned earlier also, during the COVID situation, it was much more because everybody was at home. And it is not that domestic violence is seen more in the lower sections of the society or those who are economically challenged. But even, it is, I would say there is no stratification for domestic violence. Whether you are belonging to any class, any economic class, domestic violence does exist. Okay, so it is not something that is very peculiar. We think that only when it is a physical abuse or a verbal abuse. The way you probably, I think all of you should think the amount of work that your mother was doing during the pandemic. I don't think anybody else have to. How many of you did lend a helping hand to her? Right? How many of you did do that? Okay, very few. Just a handful of you probably will be doing that. But otherwise, I'm sure we have seen a lot of videos again which were viral on WhatsApp and many other social media sites where you just lie down over there and then you call out and ask her to come up all over, switch off the fan, switch off the light, make food for me at all odd times. And it is like she's forever standing in the kitchen. Now, this is also domestic violence, mind you. Okay, it is not something that is, that's why I said, you don't have to go anywhere else to see domestic violence. I'm sure domestic violence is happening in your own homes. And with the women in the home, I think you need to rethink. I see a lot of men in this group here, in the meet here, I think you should start rethinking on and start redefining the roles of a woman even in her own home. Be it your mother, be it your sister, be it your... I'm sure none of you here are married as yet, but in future, the role that she should have as a sister-in-law, daughter-in-law, a lot of roles, and I think we need to redefine those roles even in our own homes. Therefore, we can reduce domestic violence. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? Now, these are some of the laws on domestic violence, and now we are concentrating more on the Protection of Women Against Domestic Violence Act 2005. But we also have other sections like in the Penal Code, where it is given harassment with regard to dowry. It is also a kind of domestic violence, and we are also talking about the Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961. So even here, they give us there are laws which protect the rights of women, and the women can always voice out their opinion at any time, and the law actually will enable them or protect them. In fact, we should be really thankful to the Indian Constitution. Most of the laws and acts that are brought out actually favor the women. But unfortunately, in a country like India, it is not so. In reality, it is not so. But in legality, yes, it definitely protects women, and it is for women. But when it comes to reality, when it comes to the implementation of the acts, definitely loopholes are there, and through those loopholes, none of it is being taken care of. Okay, the next slide, please. So we'll just concentrate a little bit on the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. Now, as you see there, the Act defines domestic violence as an attack against someone by any other person with whom that they are presently or have been in domestic relationship. Okay, so this is what the Act defines. And it also provides protection for victims of domestic violence and seeks to punish the perpetrators of such kind, the people who are doing it. Now, when you say people who are doing it, it doesn't mean probably the husband who bet the wife, he's the perpetrator. The others who were seeing, who were onlookers, are also perpetrators, because you haven't gone and stopped the issue. You were also kind of encouraging. The very fact that you didn't go and stop the issue when it was happening right in front of you, or and you are a witness to it, and you have done nothing about it, you are also part of it. You are also party to say that, okay, let this happen. Why were your hands tied? I know it takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of courage on your part to come out and voice out your opinion. But then that is what we are supposed to be doing. And as youth, and you have a very strong resource with you, which is the human resources. And I'm sure when we can make a difference with Swati's issue in Chennai, and with many other issues on Jallikattu issue, and now, of course, with your online, offline exams, all this, when as a student body you can get together, I think for social causes also you need to get together. Swati's issue, yes, it was a social issue. Like that, we need as a student body, and I'm sure the entire student body in Chennai can get together and organize and do things like this. Somebody starts, it's just somebody who will bell the cat. Okay, so if somebody can start it, everybody will join together. And as I said earlier, rethink, redefine on your roles. And again, Article 14 says for equality before law and equal protection of the law within the territory of India. And therefore you can, these are ways through which you can protect Article 15 and Article 21. Now, who can file a complaint? Any woman who has been abused, definitely she can file a complaint, and under the Domestic Violence Act. And even if it is the mother who has been, they can always do that. Right. Now we go into the next one. What is the role of, I think this is one of the last slides. Next slide, please. What is the role of the youth? Now, most of you here are belonging to the category of youth. from 18 to 35. So less than that, all of you are. So be aware of the warning signs. So when you see something that is happening, immediately get into that issue, bring your friends, and see that it can be stopped. And police officers here, these kind of issues over and over again, as you had already mentioned in your question and answer session, they, as part of your fact findings, you had mentioned that police, have, I think they hear almost 25 cases per day. Now, just imagine if they're hearing 25 cases of domestic violence every day, it is kind of, they got used to it. So that is not going to pinch them, or that's not going to, they are not going to have goosebumps when they hear a domestic violence. So which means they're kind of tuned to it. Now here you need to actually work towards it. Lend a listening ear, especially to people who are affected, because they'll have so much to share. So lend a listening ear. Be available to listen to what they have to say. Don't try and hurry them when they are trying to bring out their emotions, because that is one way of how you can help them. Of course, the helpline number is already discussed, and you have already, Next slide, please. And you have to document every incident witnessed, because that will help you to know how many cases are happening. And you also should be like a resource. So you should know where they know a person who is affected, who is being abused. Where do you go and help? Find out where the NGOs are, NGOs working for women. Of course, when you take them to the police station, definitely they will put them into a short stay home. But then you also should be aware. Reach out to these victims regularly to find out how they are feeling, what is their emotional state of mind, so that they don't get into any other untoward incidences. Mass media, actually, through these movies and all that, of course, in the beginning when you had these question answers and you have brought out a lot of movies and all that, one of them you said that this particular thing happens quite often, and that's why you brought out that particular movie. Now, can we avoid watching such kind of movies? In that case, then I don't think you will watch any movie. Because all movies, if you take, are talking about how you can oppress a woman, how you can discriminate a woman, or in some way or the other, a woman is being, is being abused, either physically, emotionally and psychologically, quite a bit. Okay, so I think we need to somewhere raise our voices against that. And you also should know your facts about domestic violence. Where do we go? What do we do? These are some of the roles I think you need to have, and see that we stop this kind of violence in the society and help our counterparts to live a peaceful and happy life. Thank you so much. I think my last slide is thank you. Thank you. I hope the session was, I made it as short as I could, giving you some facts. And as I said, I'd like to congratulate the Department of Communications, Madras Christian College, for giving me this opportunity to share my views. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really an insightful session, a kind of a jaw dropper, I would say, because we were only thinking of some violence that the partner were actually experiencing, or the partners along with have. You were giving us more information, like even children giving more work and letting their mothers stay all the time in the kitchen is also a violence. So that was really a great point that we can take back with us to our homes. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us and giving us this wonderful session.
And all the best to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So the feedbacks link has been, I guess it's been put. It will be put shortly in the chat box. You can, it's being put. So just go there.
DG Vaishnav College, I request all of you to log in from your individual phones. I know you are being seated at various places in halls and computer labs and classrooms and all that. You are a group watching under one account. Right at this juncture, I would encourage everybody to log in from your own personal accounts, because this would be taken into consideration of attendance and it will be given back to your college. So kindly do fill it up using your own IDs, and please submit the feedback form as soon as possible. Thank you, DG Vaishnav College.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, so the feedback link is being updated. Just go and see. So now we will have a quick look into what is good and what is bad in relationships. Let's move into an infographic video on the subject. Over to you, production team.
Let's have a quick educational session. What is a healthy relationship? Does it equate to being physically healthy? Does it mean cooking healthy meals? No. A healthy relationship is made up of trust, loyalty, understanding, honesty, and respect. And what is consent? When someone says no, it means that they are not consenting to whatever is happening. And what are some of the other ways that one can say no? They can say maybe, they can say I don't know, they can say I'm not sure, or they might not have a response. But all of these mean no. And moving on to respect. We have often heard that when we respect others, they will respect us back. Respect is shown in the way we treat others and in our actions towards them. Respect also builds the basis of a good and healthy relationship. And that is our snippet of understanding for the day.
Yes, that was a very short look into what is good and bad in relationships. So in the meanwhile, we have actually one more poll to be answered out there. You can
Elsa,
just
a request to float the feedback link again, Elsa. Please do it again because people have joined in again.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, yeah. So we will, Gayatri has updated the feedback link again in the chat box. You can just have a look again. People who have joined recently. So yes. Also the polls. I was talking about the Google polls that we have. Go there, vote, cast the vote and see. So that is the key takeaway from the infographic video. Consent. What is consent? It's not just the no. It can be I don't know, not sure, silence, maybe. All these things comes under no. So if a person says to you these things, take it as a no and not as an yes. Only a definite yes will be counted as yes. Okay, so with that, let's now go to the celebrities' word on our campaign. We will have a celebrity bite on our campaign. Just see, let us see what celebrities have to say about us.
Hi, this is Manju Warrior. The Department of Communications at Madras Christian College, Tambaram is organizing a campaign called 2ACT005. I'm so happy to know that this campaign promotes women's empowerment and safety. I want to wish this campaign and everyone who's working behind it all the very best. Thank you.
Yes, that was Manju Warrior, a very honorable woman, Malayalam actress. So she has actually have given a word for us about the campaign. So yes, I know you will be very much sad to leave this platform as we have come to an end. It was quite an energetic session. I believe you got a lot, many information along with some entertainment. So, but yeah, we have to leave, right? Everything that is very good will not last longer. People says that, right? So this was a wonderful campaign, I believe. So it won't last long. It is going to end. So before we end, why don't we listen to the words of the most lively and spirited backbone of the campaign? Why we all are sitting here very much spirited is all because of you, ma'am, who is spreading her positivity into all of us throughout our preparation. So I lovingly call upon our staff in charge, Professor Deborah Rush, to render a few words. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all of you today. I deem it a pleasure to address the participants of DG VAISHNAV College. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience today. And I must thank the head of the department, Ms. G. Vasant, for immediately accepting my request, and also Ms. Nandini Chandrasekhar, because she has been following me throughout, arranging different places for you, arranging the platform and everything, coordinating with me continuously. Thank you so much, Nandini ma'am, for all the effort that you had taken today. I really thank the audiences. You were great today. I also like to thank Ms. Mary for being here, for being the keynote speaker today. Ma'am, your session was really insightful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, MA Communication, for being a wonderful host, because it was energetic throughout. You guys did a great job. Thank you all so much. I would like to register again the efforts, collective efforts taken by the Department of Visual Communication, DG VAISHNAV College, everybody involved, the technical team, the staff members who gave various permissions for all the classes to participate. Thank you all so much for letting your students to take away very, very important life notes on today's session. Thank you all so much for being here. Back to you, Elsa. Thank you. And one more thing, I request all of you, the DG VAISHNAV participants, everybody who is here online, to switch on your videos one last time, because we would take a screenshot session to record on what we have done today. Please switch on your cameras. Let me all see your beautiful, bright faces today. And let us take a screenshot. Instead of a group photo, we have this tradition of, having a screenshot session because of the pandemic. So, urge you all to switch on your videos. Please mute your mics and switch on your videos. That will be great. Jessica, can we have a screenshot session, please?
Yes, ma'am. Everyone, please switch on your, enable your camera, please.
Yes, guys, as people say, photographs are a memory. Let's have this as a memory.
All right, on 3, say cheers. 3, 2, 1. Yes, thank you all. Ma'am, I've taken the screenshot.
Thank you so much, Jessica. And as Elsa said, not all good things come to an end, according to me, because what you have carried, the session might end today, but you have carried a whole lot of information. Information is wealth, according to me. So good things will not come to an end today. It will keep moving forward. We will empower the society and we will move forward. There are greater things in life for us. We would carry on this message to each and every one of us around, each and every one of us around. If there is any feedback from DG VAISHNAV College, someone who would like to speak to the Department of Communication, you're more than welcome to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So yes, is there anybody to give a feedback? Someone from you guys? We will love to hear your words. Because other than answering the game session, we didn't hear your voice. So we would love to have a hear upon it. Anyone? Maybe Nitin. Nitin was very active out there during the game session. Is Nitin here? If anybody is here, just give us yes. Okay, Shashitaran. Shashitaran, are you ready to give us a thank note, a kind of a feedback? No. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we will move without a feedback. So before we go to the vote of thanks from the students part, we are actually having an Instagram account on 2ACT005 where we are having a put a finger down challenge. Okay, there is a Reels challenge going on. Put a finger down challenge.
Ranjit has raised his hand. There's a person who's raised his hand.
Okay, Ranjit, are you ready to give us a feedback? I hope he is. Okay, there are many hands I can see. Okay, anyone from you is welcome, most welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I don't have feedback, but I just have a movie recommendation.
Sure, Ranjit, go on.
I want everyone to see this film called I'm Not an Easy Man. It's like a French film. It basically kind of supports the theme today. It's really a good film.
Okay, so yeah.
Thank you so much, Ranjit, for that valuable information. We would definitely go ahead and watch the movie. We would get ourselves empowered. Thank you.
Ranjit, please, I also request you to keep the name of the movie in the chat box also so that people would have a look on it. Also, Nitin, you have raised a hand. Do you have anything to
Elsa,
talk?
you can float the link of the Instagram page as well, Elsa.
Okay, sure, ma'am. Yes. That will be also given soon for that
we can go ahead with the vote of thanks.
Okay, yeah, we have exceeded our time limit. So let's have a vote of thanks from the student side. I invite Ms. Dania Reem Shafiq for giving vote of thanks. Welcome, Dania.
Thanks, Elsa. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. With these words of John F. Kennedy, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude towards each one of you present today. First, I thank God Almighty for making today's program fruitful. I extend my hearty thanks to the faculties and students of the Department of Visual Communication, DG VAISHNAV College, for accepting our invitation to be a part of our campaign. Sincere thanks to our speaker, Dr. Mary T. Abraham, for joining us today and gracing the occasion with her words. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your views and opinions. Sincere thanks to Dr. Vasuprata Srikrishna, HOD in charge, Department of Communication, for her constant support and guidance in coordinating and organizing the campaign. I would like to thank Professor Deborah Raj, staff in charge for public relations, for her valuable support and suggestion from start to finish. Her encouragement and presence throughout has proved to be the pillar for the campaign. Thank you, ma'am, for guiding us to putting this campaign into action. Next, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our thanks to the faculty members of the Department of Communication, Dr. S. Janet Miri and Professor Dinesh Kumarti, for their encouragement and valued support. We can't thank enough our department for their support and being the perfect team throughout. For the success of such a program, there lies a combined effort of many. I extend my gratitude to the first and second MA Communication for their involvement and dedicated support for the campaign. I thank the audience who are with us on Meet as well as on YouTube for their presence and engagement for the campaign. Hope you all have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dania. So yes, that's the end of our campaign. But before you go, you should have that key takeaways, the hand signals, the helpline numbers 10191, 1098 and 181 with you, and also the points that were given out by our keynote speaker. I hope you all will keep that in mind and lend a helping hand to the people whom you see in distress. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you being the most vibrant audience for our second day of our campaign. Thank you, guys.